Jennifer Garner just opened up about something most Hollywood actresses never admit publicly, that her divorce from Ben Affleck didn't just break her heart, it basically paused her entire career for years. The woman who was one of the biggest action stars of the early 2000s, who could have been in anything she wanted, chose her children over her career. And now she's talking about what that sacrifice really looked like, including a jaw-dropping story about her agent threatening to retire her if she didn't take a role in Dallas Buyers Club. This is the Jennifer Garner story Hollywood doesn't usually tell. Jennifer Garner's split from Ben Affleck wasn't just a big personal change, it also dealt a serious blow to her career. During a recent sit-down with InStyle, the Alias star opened up about how the split impacted the former couple's young family, which seriously altered the choices she was making professionally. When my kids were little, I worked so little, and then we had such an upheaval in our family that I really hardly worked for a long time, Garner told the outlet. Let that land for a moment. Jennifer Garner, Academy Award nominated, two-time Golden Globe winner, one of the most bankable actresses of her generation, hardly worked for a long time, by choice, because her family needed her more than Hollywood did. Garner and Affleck split in 2015 after 10 years of marriage, finalizing their divorce 3 years later in 2018. Since then, they've continued to co-parent their 3 kids, Violet, now 20, Finn, 17, and Samuel, 14. And throughout the years following the split, Jennifer was largely absent from the big screen, not because nobody wanted her, but because she made a deliberate choice to be present for her children during an incredibly turbulent time. First of all, when you're in a performance kind of role, you give up a year and a half of performance while you are pregnant, having a baby, recovering, she explained. So even before the divorce, Jennifer had already sacrificed significant career momentum for motherhood 3 separate times. Then came the divorce, the public split, the media circus, the tabloid coverage that was relentless, and 3 children who needed their mother to be stable, present, and consistent while their family was going through massive upheaval. Jennifer chose her kids, full stop. While Ben Affleck was off making movies and winning Oscars for directing, Jennifer was doing school pickups and making dinner and keeping the family running. That's not a criticism of Ben, it's an acknowledgement of the invisible labor that Jennifer took on during that period. And she almost didn't have a career to come back to. Here's the incredible Dallas Buyers Club story that reveals just how close Jennifer came to being pushed out of Hollywood entirely. In 2012, before the divorce, but during a period when she was already turning down everything, her agent called with an ultimatum. He said, "This is going to be a call about one of 2 things. It's going to be a call about you doing this little movie, or it's going to be a call about you retiring," she recounted to The Hollywood Reporter in a 2021 interview. Her agent was essentially saying, "Take this role or I'm done representing you," because Jennifer had said no to everything for so long that her representation was at their limit. They couldn't keep working for someone who wouldn't work. "I knew I'd asked enough of my representatives who'd been working their tails off for me, and I had said no to everything and kept getting pregnant," she continued. "But I was truly overwhelmed by a 3rd kid. Ben was making Argo, and I was just trying to keep the plate spinning." Ben was making Argo, the film that would win the Academy Award for Best Picture and cement his legacy as a director, and Jennifer was home, overwhelmed with a 3rd baby, trying to keep everything functioning. That's the reality of what their marriage looked like even before it ended. She took the Dallas Buyers Club role. The film went on to win 3 Academy Awards, including Best Actor for Matthew McConaughey. Jennifer's instincts to take it were right. Her agent's ultimatum was the push she needed to remember she was more than just a mother. She was an extraordinary actress. These days, Garner is back to staying busy in Hollywood, but she remains much more selective about the projects she takes on. She's gearing up for the release of her Peacock series, The 5-Star Weekend, and although her kids are older and more independent, she still has no desire to uproot the family for months at a time. "It's all about your schedule," she said about acting. "It's not about what the kids have going on at school. It's not about pickups and drop-offs and making it home for dinner." So she looks for projects primarily based in Los Angeles. She's not going to fly to another country for 6 months to film something, even if the role is incredible. Her kids still come first. But Garner is also clear that she doesn't apologize to her kids for having a career. I do thank them for being so sweet about it, she explained, but that's part of life. Working hard is part of life, and messing up is part of life. Tripping and falling, there's room for all of it. That's good parenting, teaching your children that adults have their own ambitions and needs, that moms are whole people with careers and dreams, not just support systems for their children's lives. Jennifer is modeling something important for her kids. She also spoke candidly about the emotional toll of the divorce itself, not just the career impact. In an interview with Marie Claire UK earlier this year, she reflected on the heartbreak of losing a life partner. You have to be smart about what you can and can't handle, and I could not handle what was out there, but what was out there was not what was hard. The actual of it was what was hard. The actual breaking up of a family is what was hard. Losing a true partnership and friendship is what was hard. That's a profound distinction. The tabloid coverage, the public speculation, the paparazzi, that was uncomfortable, but the actual thing that hurt was losing her best friend, losing the partnership, the daily reality of a family that was no longer intact. And she said the hardest ongoing challenge has been dealing with the continued public fascination with her relationship with Ben Affleck. Not hard in the grand scheme of what is hard in the world, but tricky for me and tricky for my family. People will not let Jennifer Garner move on from Ben Affleck. Every time he does something, marrying Jennifer Lopez, then divorcing Jennifer Lopez, any personal development, people come back to Jennifer Garner. They compare, they speculate, they ask how she feels, and she has to navigate that constant public scrutiny while also just trying to be a mom and an actress and a person. What makes Jennifer Garner's story so compelling is that it's the opposite of the typical Hollywood narrative. Usually we hear about women who sacrificed their families for their careers. Jennifer sacrificed her career for her family. She walked away from the biggest opportunities of her prime years to be present for her children, and she has zero regrets. She described feeling grateful to have had time in the last year and a half to just indulge in acting again. Indulge. She describes getting to do her job, the thing she trained for, the thing she's brilliant at, as an indulgence, as something special and rare that she gets to have after years of putting it aside. That's a woman who has her priorities completely clear. Her kids came first, her career came second, and now that her kids are older and more independent, she's finding her way back to the work she loves, on her own terms, in her own city, without uprooting anyone. Jennifer Garner didn't just survive her divorce. She made choices that protected her children at real personal cost, rebuilt her career without compromise, and came out the other side with her integrity and her family intact. That's not a comeback story. That's a woman who knew exactly what she was doing the whole time.